welcome back to Utopia, where we believe that knowledge is power. My name is Zoe Robertson. I am here to empower you through knowledge and motivation, and I am not a professor. Let's get to learning. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how to best structure your schedule as a busy person. If you've been here on my channel for a while, you probably know that I give real and actionable advice. And because of that, I don't usually give lifestyle advice, as to be honest, I won't really recommend my lifestyle. So today we're going to be talking about how to structure your life and your schedule. And the reason why I am giving this advice is because this is actually an area of my life and my lifestyle that I gotta say that I'm actually pretty good at. So I'm going to be giving you some easy tips that you can implement right away. And I know you have a busy schedule that you're trying to structure, so I'm not going to waste any time with the intro. Let's just jump into it. The first and probably most important thing that I do is that I write things into my calendar right away. So that means if my boss is asking me to take an extra shift, or if my friends are asking me if I can do lunch, or if I'm making a dentist appointment, whatever it is, whenever I say yes to an obligation, I immediately write it down in my calendar, literally in the conversation. And that might seem rude, but I tell them, like, I'm not trying to be rude. I just have to put this in my calendar right away because, like, scatterbrain. And people are like, yeah, sure, as long as you show up when you're supposed to. And I'm like, I will. And then, I'm not on my phone when I'm having lunch with my friends. Then I'm free. But when I'm in the conversation about it, I just put it into my phone so that I don't forget. And that way, when I'm reviewing my week or my month and figuring out what I'm supposed to do, then I see that there. I don't have to, like, remember it later. And honestly, you can think like, oh, obviously I'm gonna remember that I have a doctor's appointment at 4 on Tuesday. No. You won't actually. You'll be like, oh, when was that? Was it Tuesday? Was it Wednesday? Was it 4? Was it 3? It's just so much easier to just put it into your calendar. And I put it on the calendar on my phone because then you can, like, change it and everything. It's not hard. And you always have it available. If you prefer a written calendar, that's better. But I find oftentimes we get these, like, cute written calendars and we're like, oh, I'm going to write everything into that. And then, like, oh, I have a test that day, and then your teacher's like, oh, we're going to change the test date, and then you have to scribble it out, and we just get tired of it. You're not going to drag around this, like, huge planner everywhere. It's just not going to happen. Or maybe it will happen for you. It's not going to happen for me, and now most people I know. I already alluded to this, but I work in increments of 1 week at a time, and this I also do on my phone, is that I write down the next days, like Monday, Tuesday, the dates. So when, like, a Wednesday passes, then I write down the next Wednesday. Then I just sort of write down what I have to do those days, what I have planned, and also what I'm going to try to fit into my schedule. So for example, work is obviously there, and if I'm going to have a lunch with my friends, that's there. But then I will also put in, like, if I have to read a chapter in a book, if I have an essay to write, I'll put it in, like, on the specific dates where it best fits. So when you sort of see all of your days like that after one another in the Notes app, you can see, okay, where do I actually have room to fit in this, and that. It just helps to visualize the days, to see them clearly, and to see when you can actually do something, and then just get it into your calendar, or like your weekly overview. And I also like having it on a Notes app because I do rotations, I do write-ins, I just edit it constantly throughout the week. But it's really, really good to have there. And then as the days go, I just take that away, and then I see sort of when my day is about to end. Then I can decide if I want to relax, or if I actually have a few hours more before sleep, like 5 hours more, I can put in something extra and put in something that I want to do, that I've been wanting to do like one of these days, or something that's on another day that might actually be more crammed. So when doing my overview, I put in sort of a priority list. First of all, what is scheduled, like work, a hangout, a dentist appointment, a hair appointment, anything that's on schedule that isn't really movable. Obviously, anything can be movable, but that is, like, the priority. And then secondly, I try to place what has to be done that week. Like, for example, if you have a bachelor assignment, for example, if you have a school assignment, if you have to study for tests, if you have to, clean your room, vacuum, clean your bathroom, like anything that has to be done within that week, but not on a specific day. Look at your schedule, see when do I have the most time to actually get this done. Oftentimes, obviously, if you're writing an assignment, you have to do a little every day, or like place it over 2 or 3 days, not just all on one day. But still, maybe you can put like research, write a disposition, write an outline, write the essay, edit the essay, you know. And then third is, what work do I want to get done? Do I want to film a YouTube video? Do I want to edit a YouTube video? Do I want to write a chapter on a book? Do I want to write some poetry? Do I want to get some harder and longer workouts in? These are sort of your own priorities that aren't always as easy to cram into your life, but that you really should try to do. So just think, what do I really want to get done? And then the fourth is relaxation and fun. And this is really important, so that you don't get burned out, and also so that you don't lose friendships, that you still have a good connection to your family or your hobbies or whatever. Like if you haven't seen your friends for 3 weeks, then try to schedule a lunch. Another thing that I do that has been extremely helpful in structuring my life is having, again, on a notes app every single date of the year, but I place it in 1 month at a time. So right now I have from January 1st to January 30th, and I just write it in. And writing down everything, the main things that you've done that day, and then you sort of have a log to go back on. If you're looking at your paycheck and are wondering if they got the right dates, then you can go back and see, did I work that day? What days did I work? If you want to know the last time you had a checkup, you can check there. If you want to track your period schedule, you can also put that there. There's just a lot of things that is very useful to have a log on, so that you can just go back and check. Like I, for example, always write down when I water my plants, because then I can see like, oh, has it been a week since I watered my plants? I should probably do that. And if you worked out your legs, then you can see when you last worked out your legs, your arms, your, what is this called again? Abdomen. That's not your abs. When you last ran. Like if you're trying to get variety in what you're eating to get the right nutrients, you can even write down like what you had for dinner, and then just sort of see, okay, when did I actually last have tomatoes? There's just endless possibilities. Whatever is useful for you to log. It is also very good to actually see that you've done something that day, because oftentimes you feel like you've got nothing done. But if you keep a log throughout the day, then you can be like, oh, I actually did do something. And sometimes, honestly, my log has been relaxed or got a good night's sleep for like the first time in forever, because sometimes you really need a day to just relax, and that is also good. And you can also see if you've been relaxing 3 or 4 days in a row, then maybe you gotta do something. Another thing I do is that before I go to bed, I check my list for that day, and then I sort of visualize my day and just get in the headspace for the day that is to come, and sort of plan the small details, like what do I have to pack, what sort of look should I go for with what I'm doing, at what times will I be doing this and that, and just sort of mentally preparing yourself. I feel like when you visualize things often go more smoothly. And also, if you have sort of a loose schedule, then you really should try to create your own schedule before the day. Because if you get to the day and you have no idea what you're going to do, then oftentimes you'll end up doing nothing or doing things that aren't actually that important for your goals. This next advice is something that I actually got from one of Rachel Hollis's books, which is a business advice put over to a life advice. Only touch it once. If you get asked to do something, just go with your immediate response. If you get an email, answer immediately. Wasting time thinking about things isn't gonna make you have a different result, and if it does, it's oftentimes just pushing yourself to doing something that you actually don't want to do. If you don't immediately feel like it's a yes, then it's probably a no. So first of all, obviously check your schedule, and if you can fit it in, then think with yourself, do I want to do this? Or think that before. And if you don't want to do that, then don't do that. But if you want to go to that event, if you do want to work that gig, then say yes, and then that's your decision, and then you can plan around that. But don't think about it up until the day comes and then you just have to do it because you haven't said no. This next tip is something that works very well for schoolwork or for creative endeavors like, for example, YouTube. But just try to bulk things as much as you can. If you have 5 hours free, then try to do the same thing. Try to study the same class, or at least study. Try to film all your videos at once. Try to write poetry while you're doing it. Because we actually lose, I think, 25% of our energy switching between activities. You get into a mode when you're doing something and then things just run a lot smoother. But if you're if you're working out, then you're tidying, then you're studying, then you're going to work, all within the span of like 3 hours, then you're spending a lot of time switching between those activities and your mind is confused. So if you have 5 hours and you have to clean your room, then clean your room. Don't clean your room for 5 minutes, study for 5 minutes. Like, that is wasting your time and it's wasting your energy. Last but not least, make time for meals, sleep, meditation, yoga, Netflix, workouts, video games, whatever you need to feel happier, to feel more relaxed, to refill your tank. Do that. You cannot run on an empty tank. You've heard that a billion times before, and it is because it's true. If you don't take time to sleep, to eat, to do something that relaxes you, like reading, you're going to hit a wall. And then it's going to take you a lot more time to get back to where you were than if you would have just taken that time in the first place. So those are the tips, or sort of how I personally structure and run my schedule as a 21-year-old history student about to get my bachelor's degree, working 3 jobs, getting my driver's license, and doing a lot of other stuff. If you have any tips that I should have included, then totally put them down in the comments below. If you want more content to empower you through knowledge and motivation, then subscribe to this channel and like this video so I know they actually like this video. And I will see you next time. Bye!